Hello, crafty friends. It's Mary here. I finally cleared off my desk. So, just a few things. I got a new cutting mat for my desk, and I love it. It's the Fiskars 36 by 24. Now, it does hang over my desk just a little bit, but that's fine. It doesn't bother me. Also, I'm gonna do my card-based video today. An A2 card is basically a card that is, I think that's 4 1/4 or 5 1/2. Hold on, let me check. Yes, it's 5 1/2 inch. Wait, that would be 10 inches, wouldn't it? No, I don't know. Anyway, we'll just do it this way. So, you take 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of cardstock. And basically, you're going to cut it in half. If you're doing it this way in your trimmer, you're going to put the mark on 5 1/2 and then cut. And that's going to give you 2 card bases. Now, to get the card base, what you're going to do is you're going to fold that in half. There's 2 ways you can do it. If you are good at doing it this way, this is an option. I am not very good at doing it this way. But you basically fold it in half, and then somewhere on here. Oh, there's my bone folder. Okay. You take a bone folder, or you can actually do it with a palette knife too, one of the plastic ones. And there you have your A2 card base. I'll do another video at a later date on how to do the panels. I'm gonna try to do that later today or tomorrow. I'm not quite sure yet. But that's one way to fold it. Another way is if you have one of these scoring tools. Now, I have the Simply Scored by Stampin' Up. No, I'm not a demonstrator. I was a long time ago, but long before they had this nifty little gadget. But it has notches on the top, and it comes with little markers. Now, for the most part, my markers stay at 4 1/4 and 5 1/2. I do 2 different style card bases, so this one you would score at 4 1/4. You can probably use your bone folder too to do this. I've never tried. I prefer the stylus myself. And so what that's going to do is it's going to score it. Now, I don't... Okay, you can see it. So, see how this side has a raised side to it? And then this side is like a little valley. What you're going to do is you're going to fold in towards the raised side. And make sure it's lined up. And then you're going to take your bone folder and just crease along there. And that gives you your card base as well. Now, the other way, put that back on there or I'll lose it. The other way to do a card base is take your cardstock and you're going to put it in, and you're going to come to 4 1/4. And again, you're just going to cut it in half. And that too is going to give you 2 card bases. Now, these all end up being 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. try to do this one. This was the style that I have the most trouble, what I call free creasing. And that's without any marks or whatnot. And I always end up with a not pretty score in it, which was why I bought the score thing in the first place. But you can either do this card like this or like this. So it can either open out like a normal card or open up this way. Again, the easiest way for me is to use my Simply Scored board. And this one, you're going to score at 5.5. Had the wrong end of my stylus. Now, I have friends that they always say, you know, measuring is not my thing. And to be honest, it's really not mine either. But with an A2 card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5 total size once it's folded, there's really not a lot of measuring involved. You take an 8.5 by 11 card sheet, cardstock, and you either cut it in half this way, or you cut it in half long ways. Either way, you're going to get a card base, and it just really is your preference. I do both. The ones like this, I like because they stand up better than the other ones, because it's like a little teepee. The other card bases, as long as your card front isn't too heavy, it'll stand. Now, I occasionally do a lot of layers on my cards, and the front part will get a little heavy. I could use a heavier weight cardstock, but I don't have any right now. What I'm cutting up is cardstock that I don't know the name of the color or who manufactured it. I'm pretty sure 90% of this is Stampin' Up! Cardstock, but I'm pretty sure there's some other companies thrown in there, and you know, they're different weights. Like this one is a very lightweight cardstock, so I probably wouldn't do a whole lot to the front of it. Maybe one layer. I know this one's Stampin' Up. The Stampin' Up! Cardstock is thicker, so you can do a little bit more to it. And I have pretty much every color of the rainbow stacked up over here. And I'd say I probably have 3.5 reams of cardstock to cut. And that doesn't include what I've already cut. Here are some of the ones that I've cut long ways. And I can't even pull out the stack that I've cut the other way. It's almost as tall as my stack of cardstock I still have yet to cut. I know a lot of people don't like the trimmer that I used. I got this trimmer because it has a guide wire in it. And sometimes I like to cut things, but I always had trouble doing a straight line off of a mark. I would miss my mark. With this, I hit my mark every time, and I love it. My preferred cutter for cutting card bases is actually a guillotine cutter. Now, Stacey Evans at Pink Poodle Crafts, she has a rotary cutter. It's the name of it is Carl, and I want to get one of those because it looks like I'd be able to cut more than 1 or 2 pieces at a time and still be able to, you know, keep it straight. With the paper trimmer I have, it's 1 sheet at a time. But I've been making card bases like this for so long now that I don't even really have to look down much anymore. I can sit in front of the TV and whip out a whole ream of cardstock and nothing flat. You can ask Emily of Creative Jewels by Emily. I have sent her many boxes of card bases that I just sat and cut, and then I mailed them to her, and she's used them for all kinds of stuff. There are other size cards. I don't tend to make the bigger cards because I make Christmas cards for my family and friends to send out. You know, they don't buy Christmas cards anymore. I make them for them. So I try to stay away from oversized cards because of extra postage. Postage is expensive enough as it is. So I just make these. Now, as I said a little while ago, some of this cardstock, and I have a whole bunch of white cardstock that I don't know who made it either. That I'm going to cut into panels for the fronts of my cards. I'll probably use some of this cardstock too to do different size panels. Now, panels can get a little bit more complicated, but it's not really that bad. I don't deal in 1/8 and 1/16. I deal in 1/4 and 1/2 inches, you know, 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and a whole inch. That's what I deal with right now. Lawn Fawn, the stamp company, I love their stamps, but they came out with a ruler that I'm waiting for it to come in the mail, and when I have, I will do a review of it. They didn't send it to me, I bought it. And it has the 1/8 and the 1/16 already written out for you, so you don't have to figure out which one's which on here. Like, this has 1/8 and 1/16, but I couldn't tell you what's what because I don't know. I've never been good at that. But this ruler actually does all the math for you. So, if it comes today, well, it's been raining for days here. We've had flooding problems here in Hopwood, Pennsylvania, where I live. And, but when it stops raining, I'll go check my mail, because I don't go out to the mailbox in the rain, because, as most of you know, I injured my knee. I've been off work for a while now, and personally, it's making me crazy. But I can't do a lot of walking, and when I do walk, I have to be very careful not to re-injure my knee, because my go back to work date is the 30th of July, and I want to be able to go back to work. I love my job. I work at Michael's Craft Store in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, and I love it. I love the people, I love the merchandise, and it's probably my most favorite job I've ever had. So, anyway, this has gone on rambling for a while, hasn't it? I am going to start doing more videos even after I go back to work. I generally only work a 4-hour day, so, excuse me, I'll be able to get on the ball. There are going to be a lot of card videos. I will probably be videoing while I make the Christmas cards for my family and friends who order them from me. I believe starting next year, not this year, next year, I am actually going to offer to make Christmas cards for folks. you can't request, you wouldn't be able to request a certain time. It would be random Christmas cards, and none of them will be duplicates. But this year, I just can't. I need to sit down and figure out the cost for me to do that. Plus the shipping to ship them out to people. I enjoy making cards. I have gotten away from making cards, and I need to go back to that. I subscribe to the Stampin' Up! Paper Pumpkin subscription box. And I have been so out of touch with my card making. I've got ones over there that I haven't even opened yet. So, I'm probably going to video, I'll make one of each of the cards in the kit. And then, that'll be that for video wise. There are people who do, I call it outside the box. Basically, they do alternatives with the stuff in the Paper Pumpkin kits. A lot of them are really cool. But, yeah. So I'm going to try to make more videos. I miss doing them, even though my first 3 were only, basically haul videos and, swap videos. This one's my first actual doing anything, and, well, I really haven't been doing anything. So, I might just sit here and chat with you and cut some more paper. Because, well, why not? So, this is how easy it is for me to do these. I just, I stick it in, I find the half mark, and I cut. This is, honestly, this is how fast I do this normally. This has nothing to do with the video. I have not sped up the video. This is how fast I work at doing these. It's really simple. I've thought about doing a 5x7 card. If I want to do a 5x7 card, I'm buying pre-made cards and envelopes. I'll be honest. Now, I did get the envelope punch board. So this Christmas, I may be taking, like Christmas pattern paper and making my own envelopes for some cards. I am not quite sure yet. Like I said, I've got to get back to work, and I've got to get this room in order, because it's really not good at all. And as you can see, I have a rainbow array of colors. So, yeah. But if you're interested in me sending you some pre-made card bases, leave me a comment. I will have to charge shipping. But that's all I'll charge you, is whatever the shipping cost is for the card bases. Because trust me when I say, I will never use all of these in a million years. You can request colors. I can't guarantee it'll be, like if you say yellow, well, I've only got a couple of different colored yellows. So it would be, just some yellow. But I have pinks and reds and blues, greens, neutrals, reds. I have pretty much every color under the sun. And yes, there are some that, I cut crooked. I'm human, so, it's all good. But do tell me if you want the long ones or the normal ones. I get in such a habit of doing the 5.5 that I sometimes go to 4.5 and that doesn't work. So yeah, this is all I do to make my card bases. And I do tend to cut them all and then score them. Only because it's just easier for me. But as you can see, I can whip them out in a hurry. So anyway, I've been on here 20 minutes, yakking and yakking. So I'm going to get off here and I'm going to post the video and I hope you all enjoy it. Any feedback would be gratefully appreciated. If you're not already a subscriber, click the subscribe button below and ring the little bell, because I am going to be making more videos now. Everybody have a safe day and happy crafting. See you later. Bye.